Okay, so this is my first attempt at doing a voiceover for a video. So these are the 4 colours, all contrasting: turquoise, white, copper and a blue. And I've made sure that they are quite contrasting so that they come out nicely at the end. And all I'm doing now is just flattening out the piece of clay and then cutting my squares. And I've done the turquoise, now the white, then the copper, and lastly the blue. I've cut all that out because it's just, you don't need to see all that. You know what we're doing with the rolling it out and stuff. So then I start layering, and I'm trying to decide which one's more contrasting, and I think the copper one is for the dark blue, and then obviously the white, and then the blue, the turquoise blue. And I give it a bit of a roller just to basically get the air bubbles out and make sure that it's adhered properly, and then I send it through the pasta machine. And there it is. It's just 4 layers of colour, and then I cut it into 4 again, layer it up into a cube. Well, not a cube, it's a rectangle, but you know, into a batch. And there you've got 4 times 4 colours layered 4 times. And then that's just to stick them all together and give them a bit of a roll. There you go. And then I've got my edge cutters, which I made from some aluminium that I got from eBay. And originally they were going to be clay cutters, but they weren't quite flexible enough for that, for me anyway, because I quite like intricate designs anyway. So I repurposed them and turned them into edge cutters, where I can then use my implements to create indents that go all the way through or halfway through, depending. The edge cutter, I cut it completely because I wanted that sort of shape to go right the way through the design. And then that's a bead rod that I use when I make beads, and then this is just a scalpel, but I wanted this scalpel to be minimal, so that's why I used a scalpel, because it doesn't push as much clay through, and it obviously didn't go right to the end because it's only a tip scalpel. So just making sure that I've covered most of the area that I want covered in the scalpel points, and then give it a very, very gentle roller. And now I'm using my massive peeler. I love this tool. It's the cheapest probably tool that I've ever paid for. Again, from eBay. It's just a very wide potato peeler, or vegetable peeler, sorry. But it's amazing. It's such an amazing tool. So it has to be in green, of course, my colour. So now what I do is I gently, and it's got a if you look on there, the second bar, and that's me rolling it just to stick it to the table so it's easier for me to use the tool. It's already got a bar that gives you the width of how much you're going to slice off, so you don't have to guess every time, because it has that second bar. And they are quite thin when they come out, which is brilliant, because out of that slab that's there, you'll see later that you'll get quite a lot of different designs. So it's quite a cost-effective way of using your clay. You're not going to have any waste either from using that peeler. They are wafer thin, very thin. And I love the reveal, you know, when I pick it up and I go, oh, look at that. So I'll show it to the camera. And it comes out amazing. I mean, that copper, when it's had some resin on top of it, that'll just sparkle. It'll be so lovely. I can't wait to cut into these. I'm going to make a veneer with these. So you could make, because you're obviously cutting in and you've got two parts, almost like a Natasha bead, but not. It's a vertical one rather than a horizontal one. You could make earrings out of the two, obviously, parts that are coming away. And they'd be mirror imaged, ideal for earrings. So that's what I'm going to do with these, I think. And okay, so this does have its limitations, this peeler, because it's got a very chunky plastic green bit that is in the way. So you can only go so far onto the table, and I don't like to leave a lot of my design in the final bit. So I devised a piece, a little bit of an idea with a piece of perspex, and the perspex allows the cutter to go a little bit deeper. I'm just going to give it a roll because it'll obviously come away, and I've ruined so many different slabs before by letting it, not prepping it properly. So then yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to hold the perspex blocks with the camera in the way. I'm not used to working with a camera. So you probably get about twice as much off the block by using this peeler. And you'll see by the end how much it does actually produce, quite a lot more slices than you would do normally with a blade. And then another really lovely cut this one is. You can see all of the different tools all fading off, really pretty at the end. And also the bit of dross, that's just where it's got cut at the edge, that's all. So clean all that off, just to, you don't want it to go muddy onto the rest of the slices that you've already done. I think there's one more slice I think we can get off this, because obviously you've got the width of the blade as well that stops it from going any deeper. And I think that's it, that's the final one. But you can see how much more you've got just by using the blade. Just by using the slicer rather than a blade, because you could not get them that thin using a blade. I couldn't. I mean, maybe some people can, but I wouldn't be able to get them that thin personally. And I think that's the last bit. Yes, it is. So that's the last bit. So you'll see how thin the piece is at the end. It's not wafer thin, but it's thinner than, you know, when I would have had to have stopped normally. So 1.5 sheets more slices, more bang for your bucks, because obviously clay is expensive. Don't want to waste it. I don't do waste clay. I never have waste clay. I know people have got boxes and boxes of stuff, but I don't know how you get waste clay that amount. But there you go. That's it now. Thank you for watching.